This webcast is designed to walk you through the process of customizing and drafting the scenario your agency or organization will use for the statewide medical and health exercise. As with all HCEP consistent exercises, this program is objective-driven, so you should have objectives drafted and ready to go before starting on the scenario. If you would like more information on developing objectives, please see the Customizing the Objectives and Starting to Plan Your Exercise webcast. Once you are ready to work on your scenario, go to the home page and click on the orange button on the left-hand side that says Objectives and Scenario. The document titled Scenario Summary is a suggested sample document that you can download as a starting point. You can customize the scenario as much or as little as you need, depending on your objectives. Each year's sample is based on the capabilities and objectives chosen by the Statewide Medical and Health Exercise Planning Work Group. The capabilities, scenario, and suggested regional focus for each year is outlined in the Statewide Medical and Health Exercise Multi-Year Training and Exercise Plan, or MyTEP. You can access the MyTEP from the home page and either download the document or view the table summary to see the program's plan for the next 5 years. We will reiterate, however, that you can use a different scenario than the one suggested by the state. Your program should be based on your agency or facility's needs. The exercise scenario document was developed for statewide play. Because it is objective-driven, if you add or subtract objectives to your play, it's recommended that you alter the scenario to ensure it's fully testing all of your objectives. For example, the 2017 program involves a multi-site coordinated terrorist attack based on capabilities such as information sharing, public information and warning, and operational coordination. The document begins with some instructions for customization, so read the instructions and cover page carefully. The instructions will help you to identify local sites and details to insert into the suggested scenario. You'll notice there is a disclaimer at the top of the first page under the How to Use This Document section. This scenario is intended as a 95% solution with local planners customizing it to the unique hazards of their environment. The document starts with pre-incident information, including tips on scaling the scenario for rural, suburban, or urban areas. From there it moves on to detailing multiple incidents that occur on a single day, some of which may or may not be connected with terrorism, with initial estimates for the number of injuries, fatalities, and psychological impact. An incident update and details on the recovery process follow. As you can see on the second page, the document outlines several incidents at various sites. You are free to take away, replace, or add any components that will help you to test your objectives.
As you can see on the last paragraph, there are additional resources for reference as they pertain to an active shooter or terrorist scenario. There are also some links to video resources of previous real-world active shooter or terrorist incidents that can be used in a tabletop exercise setting or as an introduction during the functional exercise. When presenting this to your planning team, try to limit the amount of time spent debating each tiny detail or fighting the scenario. Give your planning team time to consider the scenario and review it for alignment with the objectives and the needs of the local community. Discuss their suggestions and finalize the document. Ensure that your planning team understands that the objective should be the most significant part of the exercise rather than the scenario. If after reviewing the needs of your organization or agency, you decide not to play the suggested program for that year, there is a document called Changing the Scenario. It will walk you through each template document and identify where there is language specific to the suggested scenario that can be changed. There is also a blank scenario document that can be used to fill in with your chosen scenario if you prefer. This document can be populated with scenario information and additional resources when you are starting from scratch. You may also choose to utilize one of the suggested sample programs from previous years. For example, the suggested sample for 2016 was based on a mass casualty incident. For 2015, it was based on a pandemic influenza scenario. The Archives tab on the website can direct you to templates from other scenarios. Once your objectives and scenario are finalized, you can begin to create the rest of your exercise documents with your planning team, such as the exercise plan for a functional exercise or the situation manual for a tabletop. The objectives and scenario will heavily influence the tabletop discussion questions in the situation manual, as well as the injects in the master scenario events list. The master scenario events list is covered in another webcast available on the website. Please remember that you can send us feedback and questions anytime through the website.